Hey, so this video is going to be about geek stuff, so if you're not a geek in the slightest, this probably isn't for you. So first fandom or genre is going to be about DC. So yes, I am so super excited about Henry Cavill returning for the role of Superman, and that they didn't recast Superman or replace him with a black actor and all the stuff that was being, told in media and stories and whatever all over the internet the past few years. I am glad none of that's true. I am so happy that Henry Cavill is returning to the role as Superman. He totally looks the role. He transformed his body. He took a deep dive into the character, was reading the comics, like old classic comics, so he took the role literally seriously. I really hope that whoever the writers are, though, won't neglect Clark Kent. To just focus on Superman and special effects really does not do Henry Cavill justice. He is a good actor. He is really good, and I think that he could bring to the role the same level that Christopher Reeve did with the original Superman movie. And where that Superman movie is strong is in fact that they did encompass Clark Kent on top of Superman. So I love that Christopher Reeve did stuff like, being clumsy, fumbling, and, doing little things like moving his glasses up and, things like that, doing things that he put a lot of thought into with that character, and then total different character for Superman, so that, people literally didn't even look at his face when they talked to him. They thought, okay, this is just a dorky guy, and he's kind of geeky and shy and fumbling, and didn't think twice about his disguise of just using glasses. So that was brilliant that Christopher Reeve did that, and I really hope that the next movie that they do with Henry Cavill, I really hope they'll give Henry Cavill a chance to showcase his skills as an actor, to play not just Superman with the physique and the beauty that he is, but showing his actor abilities and showing his skills and showing his geek side, because he does have a natural geek side. I love that about Henry Cavill. He's into Warhammer, which I had an ex-boyfriend that was into that, and totally adorable. So Warhammer, if you're not familiar with that, it's a game, and you really have to be dedicated, and you have to financially invest. You have to buy these little tiny statues, and you paint them and put a lot of time and effort into them, and then you go to like comic book stores and different places that hold Warhammer games, and so you literally play a game kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. So it's more of a live action type of thing. It's not a video game, although Henry Cavill is into video games also, and did an entire computer build himself, and recently updated his computer with new fans. And I mean, he's very dedicated and very intelligent. He just gets a manual, reads it, and then he does it. I mean, he's very smart. He's also a fantastic cook. He knows how to make whatever he makes look beautiful. I mean, he is all about the presentation. So it's not just, you can tell it's not just tasty and looks amazing. It's beautiful in the presentation, which I don't know how to do that. I can make food taste okay, but I can guarantee you that Henry Cavill is a way better cook than myself, and just impressive. I mean, he grew up in boarding school, so it's amazing that he has as many skills as he does, especially the cooking skills. So I'm just amazed by him. I absolutely love Henry Cavill as a human being, but also just I'm so excited and happy for him to return to the role as Superman. I'm very happy that the cancel culture and all those silly people online that want to let's make Superman transgender, let's make him black, let's make him blah blah blah. There's roles that are already in comics that are black characters. So there's no need to change an iconic character just to appease a few people. There's, and if you think that's mean, there's an entire channel called BEC. It is all black. There's been movies that are all black. The Cosby Show, if you saw The Cosby Show as a kid, The Cosby Show, when they did have white people on, they were always a bad person or very stupid. It's not... I like the way that Marvel is doing things. I like that whatever his name is stepping up to replace Chris Evans as Captain America. Now that is in the comics. That makes sense. It makes sense that he is stepping up to replace Chris Evans and to do the Captain America role in a different way. It's comics, okay? So that makes sense. They're not just trying to appease the crowds that are like, make it transgender, make it this, make it that, make him black, make him, whatever. I'm really glad that they didn't do that with Superman. I hope they won't do that with Superman. I hope if they create a character, it's just something totally new, or that they actually use a character from the comics. There's plenty that are black. If you read comics and geek, like myself, there's plenty that they can draw from. There's the Green Lantern, who is black and fantastic. You can do that. Ryan Reynolds played the white one because there was a white character of the Green Lantern. I thought he did a great job. He hates the movie, but I'm like, that's where you met your wife. You can't hate a movie where you met your wife and fell in love, whatever. And he did a good job on it. I really liked the Green Lantern movie, so I don't know why there's so many people that hate the movie, but whatever. So he did a great job as Hal Jordan. I think that was the Green Lantern that he played. I think it was Hal. I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that. I'm not as geeky as I would like to be. So, but I know that he did play whatever the white character is. He played that role, and I thought he did a great job. So, the next thing I'm going to move on to is Doctor Who. I'm sad to see Jodie gone. I understand why she's leaving. I thought she did a fantastic job. She is a fantastic actor. She's got the acting chops. She took on the role, the physical demands of the role of constant running. She took that as a champ and did that well. She did well with the CGI, acting with CGI, which is not easy. She did all of that. She was a fantastic actor. Now, people, I remember when Matt Smith was leaving and all that young audience that were drawn to Doctor Who because of Matt Smith and didn't come to Doctor Who because of Christopher Eccleston or because of David Tennant. They came because of Matt Smith. They were all mad when Matt left because he was young and did different energy, different writer with Stephen Moffat. And so when he left, all these Zoomers and young millennials were demanding transgender. They were demanding a woman doctor. And so they got a woman doctor after they got Peter Capaldi, which they were really mad about getting Peter Capaldi. But I'm like, Peter fits with the Who universe. Peter Capaldi is a fantastic actor, amazing acting chops. He handled the physical demands of running constantly of the show. He handled that like a champ. He handled the CGI acting, with CGI and acting well and balanced that. He handled well with all the changing companions and actors. He was fantastic. He is a great actor. There's one episode where he's acting by himself and he's in a castle for Doctor Who. I can't remember the name of the episode, but that is where he showcases his acting abilities. I mean, that episode, I think it's a 2-parter, and he is trapped in this castle and he is trying to get out, and he dies constantly, and he comes back and regenerates, and it's just literally a prison hell. And it turns out it's on Gallifrey, and Gallifrey imprisoned him. So, and we're punishing him because he brought Clara back to life. So he was being punished for doing that. And fantastic actor. And if you look at the Classic Who has all ages. They didn't just have young actors playing the Doctor. They had all ages playing the Doctor. And they've all handled it well. And Peter Capaldi was a fan growing up. So was David Tennant. He was a fan of the show growing up. So, you know, I loved both of them. They're both Scottish. I'm mostly Scottish in ancestry. I love Scottish guys. And I got to meet David Tennant in person. David is a beautiful, sweet, charming, super charming, not in the least bit awkward or shy. He is charming and flirty, and I was in heaven. And he is amazing. He is a sweetheart, very smart about money. He is very money savvy, but very, very, very sweet and charming, and catches on very quickly with humor. So if you use any humor with him and joke with him, he will catch it fast. He is not stupid. He is a very smart guy. So very clever. I love that about David Tennant. So getting back to David Tennant and Doctor Who. So with the outing of what's her name, Jodie's character as the female Doctor. So Doctor number 13 is who she is. So as she departed and the next Doctor came about, it was David Tennant. They're using David Tennant as the 14th Doctor to draw back fans because they lost so many when Matt Smith left, and lost even more when Jodie took on the role as a female Doctor. And so they're trying to get fan base back because the next Doctor, who's really the Doctor, is a black guy that's only known for one role, and I think it's called Sex Education or something. I've never seen it. I don't know what it's about. I just know that's the only role that he's known for. I think he's also a rapper or something, and he likes to do gender bending stuff and dress like a woman sometimes, and wear skirts and pink and stuff like that. And they're moving Doctor Who to Disney Plus, so it's no longer going to be accessible on HBO Max. HBO Max really screwed themselves by selling to Discovery. Discovery has so screwed HBO Max. Shows that were on there and movies that were on there not getting more seasons, not getting the level of attention it was with HBO Max. They had a huge dedicated part for DC. They had a huge dedicated part for some other genres. So like Turner Classic Movies, a few Turner Classic Movies are on there. A lot of DC is on HBO Max, and HBO Max did some originals. So what happened was DC used to have a DC stream on its own for you to watch DC shows and TV and movies, and mostly it was not original stuff. They were slowly trying to build and make their own TV shows, and so they had Doom Patrol and got Brendan Fraser to be involved in that, to do the voice acting for that role. And Titans, so DC Titans, so like the Teen Titans is another one that they brought. And HBO bought and took over the DC stream, and that collapsed. And so all the DC cartoons and animation and shows that were on the DC stream all were transferred to HBO Max. So I'm happy that we are getting another movie with Henry Cavill, and that is because of, I guess, Discovery being involved, because HBO Max was going to touch it when Warner Brothers owned it. So now Discovery is doing this, but Warner Brothers did so much. Like I said, they really brought a lot with Doom Patrol, which is a great show. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's pretty good, even though it's, it's got some stuff that, like, they do go into transgender and, sex and stuff like that, and you're like, ugh, is this really necessary, And, but regardless of that, the show is fantastic. Doom Patrol is fantastic. So it's unfortunate that supposedly, transgender people are minorities. They're not a huge part of the population. They're like 1%. There's only 1% of people that feel like they're a female when they were born a man biologically, and vice versa, or feel like they're neither man or woman and they're non-binary or whatever. I don't care what you do with your life. I really don't. If that's what you want to do, that's great, but don't push your agenda on everybody else. You're in the 1%. You're not the majority, so it doesn't make sense to have you in representation on every show, movie, whatever. You're 1%. You should not be reflected as a majority person. You're a minority. You're rare. There's not a whole lot of people. What's his name? Bruce Jenner made this popular. And the thing with Bruce Jenner, he's always, been involved in dressing up like a woman and painting his nails and all that stuff. But when he came out as a woman and totally transferred as a woman and stuff, I think he still has his anatomy as a male, but he got fake boobs and a boob job, and he got his face totally feminized so that it's not so masculine, so he's more feminine in his facial features. But he didn't do that until he was involved in a car accident that killed people. So kind of interesting that deflected off of people that died in a bad car crash that he caused. He was the at-fault driver. He caused an accident, and then, interesting, that bit of news went away, and then all of a sudden there's all these news stories and, all these people like Diane Sawyer that are interviewing him, and him telling them that he's a woman and he's beautiful and his transformation is going to be beautiful, and they're both girls and blah blah blah. I'm sorry. No, you can feel like a woman all day long. You're still not a girl. You don't have a menstrual cycle like I have to have. You don't understand that pain. You can try to pretend to have cramps. You don't know what it feels like. It's insane to fake that and pretend you know what it's like. The fact that they carry tampons around and they don't even understand that. One on TikTok was going off about that he thought the different sizes were because women have different size holes, like men have different size penis. I was just like, what the heck, you idiot. This is because you're a guy and you have no idea. You have no idea what our feminine products are for. You don't need them. You don't bleed. You don't have ovaries. You don't go through what we go through every month. It's just ridiculous. So it's just, it's ridiculous. I just can't even understand it. And, oh my God, it really does irk me when they go that far. Dress like a woman all you want, be a caricature that you think that we are. I don't care. That's your life. Live it. Don't shove it down my throat though with your agenda. And more importantly, don't push it on kids. So that's where I'm getting my next point. I don't like Doctor Who is moving to Disney Plus. The actor taking on the role, this black guy, he was in Sex Education, so kids are going to seek him out, look at his former role to understand him, and they're going to see all the pictures online and the fact that he's a gender bender and likes to dress like a woman. And I don't know if he's a transvestite. I don't know if he feels like a woman or if he likes to be a woman and gender bend, and I don't know. I just think it's I don't think that's appropriate for kids. I don't think moving Doctor Who to Disney Plus platform to get more viewers and get kids back to watching Doctor Who, I I don't think that's right, especially if you're going to have the next doctor as someone who is involved in all that kind of behavior. You know, I don't care about what he did as a rapper. I don't care that he gender bends and puts on pink clothes and looks like a, you know, tries to dress like a woman. I don't think that's appropriate for kids. I really hate that this agenda is being forced on kids. Kids should be able to play and have fun and be kids and not think about sex and not think about their identity. They're just kids. They can have tons of time as an adult to be miserable and worry about bills and worry about their identity at that time. There is so much time to be an adult and so little time to be a child. And I'm very sad that a lot of kids are having their childhood robbed from them. From this horrible agenda to, it's selfish. I just don't like it. I get that why they're putting Doctor Who on Disney Plus. They're trying to get kids and the geeks that love Marvel stuff to watch the show. You know, it was on HBO Max, which made sense because a lot of people like me that love DC comics but also loves Marvel comics, I watched all this stuff that's on there, but and I rewatched a lot of Doctor Who on there, and now they're moving the whole thing to Disney Plus. So I get that they're trying to get kids as well as geeks back to watching the show and have it the way it was when David Tennant was the Doctor, and even more so when Matt Smith popularized the role. But to use David Tennant to be the 14th Doctor to bring fans back, that's so shady and so crappy to do. That's just so crappy. I will admit I'll probably watch it because of the fact I love David Tennant. But am I going to watch it with the new guy? Probably not. I just, I don't care that they replaced it with the or I shouldn't say African American. They don't say that in Britain. They black. They replaced it with a black actor. I don't care. The doctor can be literally anybody. He regenerates and can be anything or anybody. It doesn't matter. It's just a role. But iconic characters from comic books, leave them as is. That's how they were written. That's who they are. And to change it and make it and force it to be this other thing to appease people that are like, screaming on the walls, make him black, make him transgender, make him this, make him that, make it a woman. It's ridiculous, I mean, it would be like saying make Superman a woman when there's already Supergirl, it's stupid. So, or make him transgender. That doesn't fit Superman. That doesn't fit the comics. It doesn't fit the iconic character. So, pushing this agenda when it's just supposedly the 1%, to make it a majority where we're having to see this stuff every single time we see a new movie or show, it's ridiculous, and that goes for everything. I mean, why do that? A minority is supposed to be a small percentage. It's not the majority. So there's plenty of presentation if you want to seek out the minorities in certain genres or whatever. There's lots of movies that are just minority. There's TV channels that are just minority. There's streams that are just minority. There's channels that are just dedicated to Spanish speaking only, and there's tons of them, especially in Texas. You don't have to have that agenda on every single thing you do for a movie or a TV show. You just don't need it. It's ruining everything to try to force this agenda of, whatever it is they're trying to force. It's just like they're, it's like, don't be a man, be a girl, You're not okay if you're a man. If you're explaining something because someone's confused, you're mansplaining, which I think is wrong. If a guy understands something and can figure it out, let him explain it. That doesn't mean he's mansplaining. And a feminist, they're screeching and being angry for a guy to open the door for him. they've ruined it. I hate that guys no longer open doors for women. It's so rare nowadays. If I do have a guy run up and open the door for me, I thank him profusely and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so sweet of you to catch the door for me. Thank you so much for letting me go first. You know, it's thoughtful and it's nice. It's considerate. And to let me go first, and knowing that I could possibly cut him off, maybe he was just going to pay gas and now I'm at the counter. That was a nice, thoughtless, sweet gesture. And it's very rare nowadays. And so the selfish culture is being more the agenda, you know, the me first, you know, like if you're driving on the freeway, no one yields. If you're trying to get off on the frontage, no one yields. They blow through the yields here in Texas. And so if you're getting off the freeway, you're forced to actually yield. So instead of you being able to go and exit like the law says that you should be able to do, people that are supposed to yield blow through it and force you to do it. They want you to yield because they have a me first attitude. They don't like queues. They don't like waiting. They don't like having their place in line. They will cut and try to cut in front of you if you are in a queue in line with a car and trying to drive and there's an accident. They will drive on the shoulders. They will do all kinds of crappy stuff because they don't want to wait their fair turn. They want to be me first. And it's entitled. It's rude, entitled attitude. I hate it. It's just selfish. And that's why the drivers are so bad here. That's why the traffic is so bad here. That's why there's so many accidents, is because of the me first attitude. You know, instead of the typical, you know, like when I was a kid in Michigan, we were taught to wait your turn in line to go and get a drink at the fountain. When I was in a daycare, when I was little, same thing. You waited your turn to get up from the table. You raised your hand, then you got to go and get a drink of water. Same thing when you were in the classroom. If you had to go to the bathroom, you had to get a hall pass, whatever. So waiting your turn and asking permission instead of this just I'm first, I matter more than you do, I'm not waiting, and just being a bully and being mean and then overly aggressive, and then the opposite side of you can't be who you are naturally and biologically. You have to dumb down, you have to be more feminine, you have to be more this, you have to be more that. It's really stupid, you know. If a guy is really cut and beautiful and muscular like Henry Cavill, and they could cook, to me that's sexy. That is still very manly. There's chefs that are men that can, I'm sorry, but they can outcook a woman any day. My dad is the one that taught me how to cook. So he taught me how to cook chili, spaghetti, and goulash. So, you know, the three bulks that you do in the Midwest. So, the fact that, you know, it's just crazy how people think about roles because they really don't know who they are. And they're also trying to push this crazy agenda. It's just stupid. So let Superman be Superman. There's other characters that can be black. There's other characters that can be a woman, you know. And as far as this whole thing with Doctor Who, it's really crappy that they're using David Tennant to bring back the popularity of Doctor Who and bring back the fans. It's really crappy that they're doing that. It's really crappy. I've seen a lot of people going, oh, I can't wait for this new Doctor, about the black guy that's replacing Jodie. He's the real replacement, not David Tennant. David Tennant is just eye candy. He's probably going to be around for maybe 1 or 2 episodes, if even that. And then you get this other guy. So that guy is really the Doctor, and they're just using David Tennant as nostalgia bait. And this guy that's whatever, you know. I hope with the fans getting what they want, with their constant whining on the boards, you know, with make it a black person, make it a woman, make it transgender. I hope they finally get their way and they shut up, and I hope the show dies. I will happily watch classic Who and Who from the 2000s over this crap that they're trying to push now. So I'll still check it out and give it a chance. I always do. I gave Jodie a chance. Loved her. She's a fantastic actor. I just don't like the agenda around it. I don't like the forced make it a woman that the fan base did, that weren't real fans. It didn't grow up with the show. They don't care about the show. They just want what they want, and they just want attention. So it's not... It's sad that showrunners think that if they appease the fans and do this, that there'll be more fans. Those people that are constantly on the social media boards going, make it transgender, make it a woman, make it black, make it blah, 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 blah. Those people are a very small force. They're just really bored keyboard warriors that have nothing to do other than typing on the the keyboard and being on social media and wanting attention. That's all they want, is constant attention. And so that's why they're screeching and complaining and wanting all the stuff that they're wanting. So anyway, sorry to get into, I guess that's kind of political, but it's also me as a fan of geeky stuff that wants it to just be left alone, and wants things to grow, but grow in the way that it's supposed to be with the natural state of the character. It'd be like saying make Han Solo transgender or make Han Solo black. It's stupid. It's an iconic character. Make a new character. There's plenty of... If you're not creative enough to write a new character to appease that demand to make the person black or make the person transgender, then you're not talented as a writer. And it's a minority. So why force that in every single show and movie just to appease a small little audience that's very small? So that's just my thoughts. I don't care what they do personally with their lives. I just think the agenda is stupid. So that's my thoughts. Thanks for watching.